Good evening, everybody.
Good
Welcome, welcome,
evening.
welcome to the Round Table Talk. It's Tuesday already, man. It's Tuesday already. Flying by. Time is definitely flying by. So it's a pleasure to be before you all, to our listeners and our viewers. Thank y'all for listening in on the Roundtable Talk. Of course, you know my name is Christopher R. Jones. I have my co-host with me, Dr. Catherine Campbell, Dustin Harris, and
What up?
Perry Busby will definitely tip in here shortly, I'm sure. um, Tony trying to jam out, right? Oh man! Again, thank y'all for tuning in to the Roundtable Talk. This is Christopher Jones, and of course, you know we are still in celebration of Black Music Month. So, shout out to Black Entertainment Television for their award show on last evening. Hope y'all were able to enjoy that. It was really nice.
It was.
Um, and then again, you know, I definitely wanted to celebrate our sound, right? Once again this week, this month. And so the theme for this week's show is they sang it first, revolution, rhythm, and the sound of our survival. Episode 13 continues our Black Music Month celebration, but with a deeper intention, right? Tonight, we're not just vibing, we're unveiling the truth that our people didn't just make music, we made movements. From Kingston to Compton, Port Arthur to Port-au-Prince, we've used music to expose, express, and ignite. And now, when truth threatens the system, the artists are silenced, censored, or even killed. We're diving into it all again this evening. This message, this manipulation, and the modern day consequences of sound that refuses to stay silent. Again, peace and power to all of our people and to the sound that still is not being silenced. This is Christopher Jones, and I welcome you back to the Roundtable Talk Show tonight. And just know that we're not just doing a celebration; it's a resurrection. This is Black Music. This is Black Music Month, and we're we're talking about awards, playlists, and everything, but even more. We're talking about the sound that built the struggle, the rhythm that carried revolutions, and the lyrics that told the truth before the cameras ever showed up. They buried some of our artists physically. They buried others industry wise, shelved their work, stripped their platforms, bought their silence, or fed them to the wolves. Why? Because a black voice with purpose and power is a threat, not an asset. But guess what? Tonight, we're going to make sure they are heard anyway. Our first topic is our national topic. Um, they ain't just rapping, they're reporting why revolutionary black artists keep getting erased. From Bob Marley to Nipsey Hussle, from Gil Scott Heron to Kendrick Lamar, the truth tellers in our music have always been haunted, and this isn't by coincidence. It's control. What we're digging into in this particular topic, our global sound has never been entertainment alone. It's been testimony. And when that testimony turns to indictment, the industry, the government, and the media works overtime to undermine, criminalize, or erase the messenger. Our raw talking points for your table that you can have at your discretion is the FBI surveillance of black artists from Paul Robeson to the NAA. to NWA. Marley shot in 76 for speaking political unity or assassinated. It's unclear. Tupac, Nipsey, Extension, all gunned down in suspicious spirals of influence and fear. Lyrics, once used as community warnings, now used as courtroom evidence. And industry giants profit from violence but blacklist songs with revolutionary truth. Our roundtable question for my roundtable co-host is: what does it say about the system when the artists calling for peace and progress die faster than the ones rapping about chaos? Our seeds of solution is legislative protection for artistic expression in the use of lyrics in courts, fund community-owned recording studios that privatize or prioritize message over money, build national movements to protect artists as political storytellers and community voices. Our sources for resources of this particular topic is the ACLU Freedom of Speech and Rap Lyrics. Their story can be found at www.aclu.org, and Freedom Archives Music and the Movement at freedomarchives.org. Now, to my co-host. Oh man, and I know y'all got y'all notes. I already know. But my question is, or the roundtable question is, what does it say about the system when the artists calling for peace and progress die faster than the ones rapping about chaos? Go ahead, Queen. Miss Cat, you got the floor.
Well, it says a lot. Good evening, everybody. So, when rappers who speak about peace, healing, and social upliftment are silenced, sidelined, or even killed faster than those who glorify chaos, it reflects a system that profits from dysfunction and
Dysfunction,
disempowerment. And
disempowerment.
here's what else it suggests:
Hmm.
peace isn't profitable to power.
Say
Chaos,
that one more time.
peace isn't profitable to power. Okay? Chaos sells. That's why the news always reports bad news, because that's what sells. Violence, controversy, and conflict generates clicks, headlines, and streams. A rapper preaching of peace might build communities. A rapper promoting destruction builds buzz. And the system
Yes.
rewards buzz. Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah. Let's see. It also suggests there's a fear of awakening. Yeah, we always talk
Great
about we
fear.
woke. Yeah, but
Great fear of awakening.
that's right. A peaceful voice in hip hop often carries messages of self worth, unity, and resistance. These messages challenge the status quo. If people listen, they might start questioning, organizing, or demanding better. And we should. The system prefers them distracted, divided, and numb, which that's pretty much where we are. But we need to really step over to the other side, right?
I totally agree, Queen.
Erasure isn't always physical, it's economic and cultural. Peaceful rappers often denied airplay, label support, or media coverage. Their stories get buried while the most destructive narratives get elevated. This isn't just about whose lives are or who dies, it's about whose voices survive. It, expo-
Man.
it exposes the double standard of them white
Yes.
folks. Yeah. When artists talk about trauma or street life as a cry for help or change, they're often ignored. But when it's packaged as entertainment without accountability, it's pushed front and center.
Front and center.
That tells you the system isn't anti violence, it's just anti liberation. So, what does that say about the system? It says that it's designed to preserve itself, even if that means erasing the very voices trying to heal the people that get caught in its grip.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, like you went in on so many pieces, Miss Cat. I mean, like you said, either they bury the artist, the work that they've done. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's something positive, they don't it don't get no airtime. You barely hear about it even on the radio, your local radio station, or even at events, you know what I'm saying, that should promote peace, power, and progress, right? So I
Right.
totally agree. It's not just the DJs who are burying a lot of this music. It's also the people that's high up, right?
That's
The
right.
the the, the radio station owners that's
The
saying no
program
peace.
directors
Exactly. Dustin,
who call themselves woke.
allegedly,
Yes.
what does it say about the system when the artists that are calling for peace and progress die faster than the ones rapping about chaos and rape? Oh, great.
It says they never wanted peace.
That's what it says.
They never wanted us to separate either. They only want
Mm,
control of our lives. Because as long as we can exist, they don't like it. If they can't control it, it's either we gotta fall in line or we gotta disappear.
wow.
If you look back at the history, they have been eliminating everybody with a voice so that they would think the other ones won't speak up. It's that old slave mentality. You go after the biggest one, the rest are cower. They started back 60 years ago with Malcolm and Martin, and they just figure, oh, everybody else will fall in line from there. Then they had to take the Panthers out. Then they just kept it going down history. Because Tupac had an interview when he was early 20s. He said his whole rap career, he's never had one single run in with the laws until he started speaking up. And then all of a sudden he a felon. He always in jail. He's always getting arrested. He got this super bad image. It ain't a coincidence. It's the picture they want to paint.
That's right.
Exactly.
Can you tell me someone as protected in this neighborhood as Nipsey Hussle all of a sudden have somebody with the same gang affiliations kill him?
Killing from within,
Speak,
huh? Yeah, yeah.
speak,
That's
Dustin.
all I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have so many examples of the same thing. They just rinse, wash, and repeat. And like we don't see the pattern. We see it happening. We see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
why we need to turn to RC's a solution.
Right. 100%. That's when we are definitely incumbent to turn to being independent, where we have, places for musicians and artistic individuals to express themselves without regret, right? Or without being shunned, right?
Right.
People got to stop chasing a quick buck for that to go happen. Because every time we be like, oh, we're going to do it our own, somebody weigh that dollar in front of them. You know what? Never
And they
mind.
sell out.
You know what? Never mind. I kind of like how y'all running things.
You got to
Every
stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
sure. It's nasty.
Yeah. So I do apologize for the technical difficulty. Let's get real. They do not fear our music because it's loud. They fear it because it's true. Because it reports what the news won't, like Miss Cat said, because it speaks to what the politicians dodge, like Dustin said, from Paul Robeson being watched by the FBI, and this is somebody that sings R&B. You know what I'm saying? To Bob Marley taking a bullet for trying to unite his people, and then they say, "Oh well, he died of natural causes." To Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, X, and artists who died not just because of the streets, but because they spoke up when everyone else sold out. They say conspiracy But how many coincidences does it take to wake up? Meanwhile, the industry promotes death and dysfunction on repeat, like Dustin said. Wash, rinse, repeat. Death, dysfunction on repeat. 808s laced with poison, profit, and propaganda. But let an artist say revolution, power to the people, land back, or stop killing us, and the same executives who built them will blacklist them. Roundtable, tell me this. Why is peace the biggest threat in an industry built on pain?
Mm.
Easy.
Why is peace the biggest threat in an industry built on pain?
Because that mean they would
Because
have
it
peace
builds
and work more.
community.
Exactly. This country used our voices to build its identity, but every time we used it to hold a mirror to the system, they reached for the mic, switched off the soundboards, or worse, pulled the trigger. So here's what we do. Protect truth tellers. All of them. In the use of lyrics in courtrooms. Build platforms where the message matters more than the market. And stop confusing radio rotation with real influence. Because the system don't mind you making noise as long as it don't wake anybody up. So when Miss Cat said to stay woke, or allegedly we are woke, we are definitely destined to be either buried in a coma or vegetated state. But our music the whole time is one that will wake anybody up. I know it. I know it for certain.
It will.
Welcome, Perry Busby. I don't know if you want to hop on that topic. I just rendered my close out of it, but you could definitely speak on it if you like. This is definitely the first topic, which is what does it say about the system when the artists calling for peace and progress die faster than the ones rapping about chaos?
Well, I won't jump on a speeding train, so let's keep it going. And not gonna hurt myself.
Awesome. But welcome, brother. Welcome to the show.
Welcome everyone. Glad to be here.
Our second topic is our state topic. Um, of course, this is not specific to Texas, but we are in Texas, and so I definitely have to sort of kind of pack it around. Our title for this particular topic on the state level is Outlawed Truths: How Texas Mutes Conscious Music and Medicine to Maintain Control. When you control the airwaves and the legislation, you can decide who gets played and what gets punished.
Mm.
Okay, so it told me something about using hand gestures. I guess they stepping up their game, huh? When you control the airwaves and the legislation, you can decide what gets played and what gets punished. And in Texas, truth is under attack. I do want you all to know that. What we're digging
Oh,
into this on this particular topic is Texas ban what it fears. And right now that's true. From banning books to silencing alternative healing rooted in indigenous and African traditions, we're watching a war on ancestral knowledge that includes music. Raw talking points that you can have at your table and on your porch or wherever you want is conscious rappers denied radio play and shut out of Texas music festivals. Herbalists, root workers, and holistic healers face new legal restrictions. Cultural grants drying up from artists speaking truth, not trend. criminalization of plant-based medicine that historically healed black and brown bodies. The roundtable question for this particular topic is if Texas can ban your history, your healing, and your sound, what's left for you to own? Our seeds of solutions are create traveling Black and Indigenous wellness and sound festivals across Texas, establish cultural defense coalitions to challenge censorship in law and media, and pressure state reps to protect cultural expressions in education and public spaces. Our sources of research for this particular topic comes from the Texas Observer, and they're titled "Black Artists and Political Censorship." The second source comes from the National Black Herbalist Alliance, and that's blackherbalist.com. Roundtable. If Texas can ban your history, your healing, and your sound, what's left for you to own? Queen, you have the floor.
That's a piercing question. Yeah. It's poetic, prophetic, and profoundly true. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spit for y'all. You
Spit.
ready? You ready?
Ready.
Mm-hmm. What's left for you to own? If they white out your lineage from textbooks, strip your elders from lesson plans, mute the moans of blues and the cries of the gospel from school choirs and local bands, then what's left? If your drum line is labeled disruption, your truth called divisive, your healing rituals mistaken for rebellion, then what's sacred? If your voice, born of chains and cotton fields, of sanctified Sundays and juke joints, is silenced in favor of safe curriculum, what do they fear? They can ban the book, but they can't burn the memory. They can censor the curriculum, but not the kitchen table testimony. They can defund your art, but not your anointing.
Yes.
So if they take your history, guard your grandmother's voice like scripture. If they take your healing, let your laughter and prayer be protest. If they take your sound, sing anyway, loud,
Yes.
off
Yes.
key, and with purpose.
Yes.
Because if you don't claim what's yours, they'll auction it, rename it, rewrite it, and sell it back to you,
Right
stripped
back to
of
you.
spirit.
Right back to you. Absolutely, Queen. Stripped of it
Yeah.
all. Stripped of truth, spirit, and energy that ancestrals poured into it. I told it, man, you
So
spit
if you
that.
if you don't know where you been, you sure don't know where you going.
Absolutely. 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 Dustin, give us something, man. Give us something. If Texas can ban your history, your healing, and your sound, what's left for you to own?
Everything they trying to ban. They don't run nothing in my house. What we think going on? Look, once I close my door, you don't exist no way. So how you gonna ban something in my house? You gonna ban nothing in my yard? Nowhere.
And
You
how will you
ban
contribute that to the community?
easy. Everybody need to start minding their own house instead of just doing trying to chase the Joneses with everything else. Chase the Pauls or the Fredericks or the Douglases and mind your P's and Q's and keep your structure together. Because Texas is run by some short-sighted idiots. They trying their best to appease the little orange man up in Washington D.C. And what they not realizing is they worried about us. What they need to worry about is that 53.93% of the population of Texas. They starting to piss them off. And them the ones who get them elected every year. So they might want to mind them and stop minding what we doing and what we teaching and what other people learning. And you can teach your kids whatever you want. School only teaches basics. Yeah, Black History Month, cool. They teach you about Martin, Malcolm, Rosa. There's thousands of others you can teach your children about. Don't let the school be the only one teaching something. They can't ban what you telling them in your doors. What they gonna do?
Yeah.
Come sit in your living room? Now you can't tell them that.
So what what music would you recommend in home to the community, Dustin?
You could listen to whatever you want. There's plenty
What
of
would you recommend, Dustin?
my
To the community.
recommendation because of when I was born. Honestly, you can go and listen to a bunch of music from DJ Screw, Screwed Up Click, Rick Shop, Swisher House, all them, and talk about a bunch of factors, but people don't want to listen to them because, oh, they got jury in their mouth. Oh, they talking about cars and this. But what you're not listening to, they teach you, telling you to go to school, get your education, so you can do more off the system. They telling you to own stuff. They telling you to buy stuff that appreciate and don't depreciate as soon as you get it. They tell you all this stuff, but ain't nobody want to care because the music slowed down just a little bit and chopped up a little. But that's okay. Learn the history of Master P, of how all his artists had a house, a bank account, and a gun, while others are selling their soul for a hope, dream, and maybe a couple of dollars down the street.
Perry, if Texas can bear your history, your healing, and your sound, what's left for you to own?
Um, I have a T-shirt that I love, but I don't wear it that often. But it says, "If your word ain't, neither are you. If your
Oh,
word ain't,
man.
If your
neither
Talk
are
word ain't
about it the
you."
shit,
first time.
I ain't a preacher kid.
Right.
I said, if your word ain't shit, neither are you.
Right. If I know how Super T gets. uh and so if you don't own your word, I you know, I'm like, uh one of the biggest things that's happening right now, I didn't uh don't know if many or have heard about it, but this current administration is pushing legislation to no longer fund low band radio frequency. The FCC is looking to no longer fund that. So your
tell
AM
it,
station, so your
tell it,
AM
Perry.
stations will no longer matter. And I know we in this internet world, but in times of natural disaster, AM is the only frequency we have that will be
Oh,
uninterrupted.
they want to keep us
And
in the dark.
and and just tying in what Catherine has said, eloquently and poetically said, that if we forget our foundational, our words are based on the foundation. Whether it's belief, whether it's whether it's culture, your words are based have some foundational origin, and if we lose that, and I think that that is slowly what's beginning to happen to us because we cannot find sense of community, and we can't find community because we haven't found common unity. And so it's you find it easy now to disrupt because people no longer paying attention to those things that they say they hold truth to.
Mm.
Right.
You say you hold truth to this democracy and protecting the republic, and yet we here watching. We're watching families being torn apart, whether their origins are based in United States soil or not. I just passed. My wife and I were just talking about it. We just last Thursday we were coming out of LA and traveling down 101 in less than 24 hours. You see total disruption, and what is the response? To add more gasoline, to add more instigators, to add
Mm-hmm.
more such that such that it really does become a opportunity, because when it's that chaotic, people quickly abandon the things that are foundational to them. It becomes fight, flight, it becomes survival of the fittest, and all of sometimes those foundational things are the ones we cast away first. So
Yes.
yeah, you ask what is it? I believe we have to hold on to our word, to who we are. And if our word ain't shit, neither are we.
You ain't shit.
Mm-hmm. We need to teach that to our children, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's call it what it is. Texas is trying to outlaw legacy. Period. From the classroom to the clinic to the concert stage, truth is being banned left and right. We
And
can't talk
obliterated.
about right. We can't talk about race. We can't teach cultural healing. We can't say your ancestors use herbs, rhythm, or chants for spiritual guidance and or physical survival. And now they're choking our sound as well. Conscious artists, especially black and indigenous people, mind you, you don't hear much like Perry just mentioned, you don't hear much about indigenous music on AM station. I mean FM stations. You hear about many listeners to the FM stations, but in times of emergency, AM is there. Um, you can't get them played on corporate radio, which is mostly your FM stations. Um, Festivals get funded for pop acts, but not for soul, spirit, or protest music, right? And while we rewrite or write laws criminalizing black healing, they cut checks out to country stars built on stolen riffs and borrowed pain. If the state gets to silence our history, our healing, and our music, what part of us is still free? What part of us can we actually pass down and reach back to the next generations? What part can we revive, even if it's considered to be dead? If it's if they're silencing it all, burying it at all, what do we have left? We need to treat this like the cultural emergency that it is. Because if you can't sing your truth in public and you can't teach it in school and you can't heal with it in peace, then what are you living in Texas that we know it now is not freedom? Let's bring back what they tried to bury, like regional music festivals, choirs rooted in healing, cultural uh, acknowledgement, and even resistance. Push for legislative protection of cultural expressions like choirs, step, dance, gathering in large sections at the corner, beatboxing, if we wanted to go back that down that route. Reopen the books of folk medicine, freedom songs, and protest music that got many of us to the place where we are today. And teach them like it's survival tools that they are, like the survival tools that they are. Because when the truth is outlawed, the only law left is silence. You have to be quiet. And we aren't following that one. I'm telling you now, we're not gonna follow that one. Even if we got a hum, you understand me? I come from a people that if you beat our lips shut, we hummed to the Most High God, and even in our own communities, a message that only we could understand. Our third topic, local topic, goes to Beaumont and beyond. The sound was the shield. Why we must reclaim our local music legacy to heal what's broken. Before politics came the ballot, Before politics came to the ballot, they were in the blues. Before therapy came with degrees, it came with drums and harmonies. And here in Southeast Texas, the silence is killing us louder than anything else. What we are digging into this particular topic is that Beaumont and Port Arthur birthed giants, not just in talent, but in truth. From church choirs to backyard jam sessions, from UGK to underground elders, the message was and always will be there. But if we don't protect it now, we'll lose more than music. We'll lose memory, medicine, and momentum. The raw talking points that you can have at your particular table are: our local South has always chronicled struggle, spirit, and survival. The Golden Triangle was spiritual studio, but the archives are almost empty. Today's artists either copy industry chaos or create in isolation. Churches, schools, and barbershops once passed down the music, now they're quiet. The roundtable question that I have for my co-hosts is: what happens when the last living song leaves the city and nobody was listening? Our season solution is launch the Southeast Texas Sound Legacy Project. Document the past, support the present. Create music apprenticeships that pair young creators with elder musicians and griots. Reestablish music as therapy. Launch city-funded jam therapy groups in public
Mhm.
concerts rooted in healing and in unity. Our sources come from the Smithsonian, which you all know is still down and restricting diversity,
Access.
equity, and inclusion. But the Smithsonian Institute has an African American music legacy that you can definitely go see before they shut the doors, like they're trying to do the internet. Southeast Texas Cultural Alliance, you could definitely check them out at southeasttexasculture.org. Roundtable. What happens when the last living song leaves the city and nobody, I do mean nobody, was listening? Go ahead, Quinn, you got the floor.
Man, that question feels like a spiritual bell toll, right? It's both a
Yeah,
warning and a morning wrapped in one line.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah. The silence settles heavy, like smoke after a burned out dream. Storefronts stay lit, but the light don't reach the soul. People scroll, but
Man,
they don't feel.
man.
The elders warned us: if the song leaves, the memory follows. So it goes. The lullaby forgotten, the street chants muted, the rhythm of resistance evicted without notice. What happens? The city keeps moving, but without a heartbeat.
Right.
The block gets busy, but without a purpose. The
Yes.
youth grow tall, but without roots.
Come
And,
on,
and somewhere in the hollow of concrete and glass, a spirit weeps quietly for the sound we didn't honor,
man.
for the voice we let fade, for the inheritance we didn't bother to hear. Mm, that's what
Man,
happens. I think we need to get back to our principles of Kwanzaa in our community, so that we can start teaching those principles, so that our youth won't let it die.
yes,
They want
Hmm.
they'll want to honor our history even more so, because
I
then
totally agree.
they'll be putting some work into it.
Yes, something
Kwanzaa is
that's
not just
investing.
Kwanzaa is not just something that we should celebrate 7 days after Christmas. It should be year round for us.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially those principles. I totally agree. Perry, what happens when the
Uh,
last living song leaves the city and nobody was listening?
I'm like Catherine that it has um definite spiritual undertones, and first thing I thought about is uh the rocks will cry out.
Mm, come on.
Uh, if no one else, and I mean, when the song leaves, there will be the historians, who will tell the stories, and that's what we have to be careful of is 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 what have the journalists seen, what have these historians seen, what have our kids seen. uh I'm just wondering now if really you say when the song is left, I'm just wondering if we're just not listening to lullabies right now.
What level you on?
Right, right, right.
So I'm with you. We must we it is incumbent upon us, like you said, even if the words can't come, we do need to hum it. We do need to write it. Uh, we do need to see ourselves in a by any means necessary role at this point.
Hmm.
When it
Mhm.
comes to our history, it's how do we tell the story by any means necessary.
Hmm.
And I don't think it should just be hummed. It should be, again, sung out loud and off key. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Man, Dustin.
I'm a bit of a different approacher, so I don't think it'll ever happen. It sounds
What you mean?
good. I think that's a fearmonger's dream. That, but every day they gotta wake up in this nightmare that we ain't finna let it go. I just think most of the problem has been the presenter of that message that we've had. Older generation didn't like the music we listened to because of this, because of that. Young folks don't like the older music because of this, because of that. Stop worrying about who the messenger is and just listen to the message.
right.
People are like, oh, I
Hmm.
don't force stuff on my kids. Shut up. Your kids do what you tell them to. They listen to what you tell them to listen to. So if you want to play some old music, they ain't got no choice. What happened to the time where you had to wake up on a Sunday if you wasn't at church playing whatever music you wanted to play and they had to listen to it as they was cleaning? You don't think that music soaked in? It did, because I guarantee you could play a little bit of the song and they'll finish the rest of it. They're paying attention to all that. They see, oh, who this old guy, old lady singing? Oh, that's such and such. Now you can have a history lesson. But y'all worried about, oh, this dude, oh, man, that's old time. Look, it's in black and white. Oh, look, he got gold grills in his mouth. He got baggy clothes. Shut up and listen to the message. Okay, you get a message from anybody, and the message has always been the same if you listen to the people doing it. It's been take care of your family, take care of your community, give back to the community, take care of women, children. Dude, get out there, be a husband, watch your household, be a protector. It's all in there. But people worried about what they wearing and what they look like instead of heeding what they saying. And that's all right. I've just always been a person that listen to any type of music, so I'm a little bit different. I grew up on MTV, VH1, and BET. None of them play music anymore, so it really don't matter. You gotta do it. So you're gonna have to do it yourself. Don't get up on YouTube. You can find any song, no matter what year it came out, and you can play it.
What you say? Ask Alexa.
Ask Alexa, ask Big B, ask whoever on
Ask
your
Siri.
regular. Hell, you can even ask Google.
Yeah.
Just go and press that little microphone button and get to talking. You,
It's
hey, you don't
Gemini
even gotta know
now.
the song.
Come
Just
on, just
hum a
go.
little bit. It'll pick it up quick.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't use no skill. Oh, with the history gonna die. No, it ain't, because someone's always gonna bring up the history. Always. You just gotta listen for it. Like I didn't know stuff about the clubs we was talking about last week. I went and looked it up. I was like, oh, that's dope.
The,
I
oh, the
knew
chitlin
B.B.
circuit.
King fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And come to find out, my aunt said she was at that club that night.
Oh wow.
Mm.
That's dope. That's dope.
So
That's
look, the
dope.
history is there. Yes, Beaumont should have more. Matter of fact, not more. We should have a museum, period, about all the music that has come through here.
Yeah,
Because
Ray Charles was a regular in Beaumont.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
So it's like
I in fact, just not too long ago, about a week or so ago, I saw a photograph of BB King, and he had Johnny Winter and Edgar Winter on either side of
The Winners Brothers.
the Winter brothers.
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot of artists coming through Beaumont and that people don't know or talk about because oh, it was at these little clubs. We know them little clubs is history.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Tell the
not all the
story about it.
history was great, but some of it
Yeah.
is.
Right.
True. Why is there no picture around Beaumont what Irvin used to look like?
Oh man.
Because I found a picture of what the mall area used to look like.
Jeez.
So they put up some pictures of what our city looked like before they overpopulated it and kept building these houses everywhere,
And plants
apartment
everywhere.
buildings and all this foolishness.
Yes.
Look at our club life. Cause people keep opening clubs and keep shutting them down in Beaumont because you know they ain't handling business correctly. But that's another subject. But
Mm.
let's get us a wall somewhere that shows the musical history of the area.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I totally agree. That needs to happen. That connection with our past music artistry and the artists that passed through Beaumont and drop nuggets. That definitely needs to be uh, expounded on and exposed as well. You know, as I mean, like just let people know about it, right? I will say that this one hits kind of close. In Beaumont, Port Arthur, the Golden Triangle, we don't just make music. We made shields, right? We made spiritual armor here in Southeast Texas, as well as Southwest Louisiana. Man, like I told y'all, I come from a Zydeco state where we do the la la. Where I, I I know what music has done for our community of Louisiana, whether it's Zydeco, blues, banjo music. Most folks say that that's the birthplace of all American music is Louisiana. But I will say Louisiana shook some seasoning on it and, balled up some stuff and, put a different flavor on it, just like we spoke about last week. Before there were therapists in our neighborhoods, there were trumpets, tambourines, and toe tapping, porch harmonies. Before we had platforms, we had pulpits and backroom blues or
Mhm.
speakeasies. And now we're losing the very essence of who we are because we stopped treating our sound like sacred ground.
Mhm.
Ask yourself, why aren't we archiving our choirs? Like Dustin said, why aren't we showcasing some of our best musicians working at plants instead of performing in schools? Why are our youth making beats with no idea that their great grandmothers and great grandfathers used them to hum freedom songs in the night or soothe them in the night? What happens when the last elder who remembers the music dies and nobody remembers? Nobody had the opportunity to sit at that last elder's feet to hear the song be hummed or the lyrics be said, the instruments to be directed. You lose the entire script. You lose the entire measure. You lose the entire writ of music that individuals poured into. Now you have somebody like we mentioned last week covering your authentic sound, and that now is not the original. It's a dubbed version. It's
Chopped and
a
screwed.
covered version. Some words and lyrics have been removed, and passion behind certain words are removed. So you miss those things. We talk about crime, we talk about disconnect, we talk about depression in our community, but when was the last time we let the music do what it was supposed to do, what it was meant to do? Bring us back to life. Let's do more than remember. Let's restore. Build a Beaumont Sound archive, like that was mentioned. Oral histories where we have elders sitting at a soapbox telling their story and it being recorded. Let's digitize vinyl that was created here from artists that was created here in Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana. Let's start beat making and jam therapy for kids and elders together. Like Dustin said, we'll slow it down so you'll understand and pick it back up so you could do a jig. Host pop-ups
Mhm.
of music healing events in churches, barbershops, corner stores, wherever the soul still lingers, and it lingers. Because we're not just saving the sound, we're saving the soul that sang it. So I appreciate you all for tuning in to our show this week. I definitely want you all to consider the sound that we've created here, not only in Southeast Texas, but America, as we continue the celebration of Black Music Month. Miss Catherine, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, give us something that will uh, carry us throughout the rest of the week.
Don't let your memory die. Train your children and tell them to train their children. Make it important. You know, I don't think that Dustin's view was very different from ours. It just added the next layer. It was like
Absolutely.
the next step up, next step
Absolutely.
up. That's
I
all.
totally agree.
You know,
I totally
and
agree.
so and that's how we keep it going. You know, Because I remember those Saturday mornings waking up to that needle on that record player, right? Loud and wrong, Well, loud anyway, while we cleaning up the house. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm. And that's how we make our children remember,
That's how we
Mm.
relate with our children as well.
So yeah, keep the memory going.
Absolutely. Perry,
Make memories with memories. Yeah.
I like that. Perry, give us something for the rest of the week.
Um, wow. Our hymns are words to live by.
Oh yeah.
Uh, find a hymn this week and
Oh,
and 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 just stir it in your soul. I am reminded of, and I can't call her name, the hymnist that wrote "Pass Me Not, O Gentle Savior,"
What?
and it talks about how she was going through severe depression at that time, and at a moment in which she thought that she was ready to give it all up,
give it up.
the mailman came by on his route and knocked on the door. And in that moment, she felt God's hand. And in that moment, she wrote, "Pass me not, O gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry."
Mhm.
She was holding on to life. And a mailman just doing his duties became an agent of God's presence
Man,
and grace in her life. So find your scripture this week and hold on to it.
Yeah.
yes. Find a scripture and a hymn from the old and hold on to it. That's what I heard.
Just hold on
Dustin.
to it. Just hold on to it.
Yes, indeed. Dustin, give us something for the rest of the week, man.
We all talk about history of the city. Going out there the Juneteenth weekend. Going out there, soak up some history. I will not be downtown with the Juneteenth activity. Y'all go ahead and have fun today. Me personally, I'm gonna be at South End Day, so y'all holler at me there.
That
Period.
part. Yeah.
So it's history in that as well. So come on now, enjoy yourselves. And when you hear me pass by, I'm probably gonna be listening to some old music anyway. So don't mind me, mind yourself.
I'm sure you'll be welcomed in the greater historic district. Yeah.
Yes, right, right.
Yeah.
I definitely agree, Dustin. I will be also at the South End Day, probably riding my three wheeler, enjoying live music, cultural food, and neighbors that I haven't seen in maybe a year or so. I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend. Tonight wasn't just about music though, y'all. It was about memory. It was about movement and about
Cultural
the fact
movement.
that right, about the fact that the most powerful revolutions in black and indigenous people history started in a song. They may kill the body, but they may cancel the voice, but they cannot kill the frequency. And they sure as hell can't kill the flame, not while we got mics, hearts, and courage left. Just like Dustin said, you can't take it from everybody. To the industry, we see your pattern. You lift the chaos. Your silence and you silence the clarity. You reward destruction and blacklist healing. But your time is running out. Trust and believe independent artists are understanding how to maneuver around you. So your time is running out because our sound can't be buried in contracts, hashtags, or courtrooms. To the people, the truth is still playing in the samples, in the scratches, in the shout outs, in the silence between beats. Don't let the anthem fade. Don't let the memory die. Because we are the sound. We are the medicine. We are the revolution that sings before it marches. And if we protect the sound, we protect the future. Now let's get to work because they sang it first. But we're singing it forward. And as always, thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a good night. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. God bless. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Peace.
Good night.
He jamming tonight, y'all too.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I looked up all our heads was bobbing.
God bless y'all. Good night.
He mu- he must
Good
have had
night.
some tonic. He must have had some tonic tonight.
That's what it is, man.
He had a little tonic.